Before we start this video, I just want to put a big disclaimer that this video is about like kidnapping and things along those nature. So if those things upset you or trigger you, please click off now. Growing up, one of my biggest fears was being kidnapped. Living out on property in the farmlands of New South Wales, I grew up in a town where everyone knew each other. You'd go to the shops and you'd recognize faces, play out on the property until the sun would be going down. It was just a peaceful life. I never really understood why my parents would always want me to basically come in whenever the sun would go down. Because once again, I grew up in a small town. There was that feeling of being safe. But it was until one day where that illusion of a small town of safety, of comfort, was shattered. Potential kidnapping happened right near my house. And having seen it with my own eyes, that fear grew, knowing that that could have been an actual kidnapping, that could have succeeded. And since then, that feeling of being abducted has only grown. Today we're talking about a potential kidnapping and how a father saved his daughter. Hey everyone, hope you're all doing well. My name's Ryder Bard, you can call me Kyle. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, I'm a commentary YouTuber from Australia that covers trending topics. And today, it's a very difficult topic for me to cover, considering it is a topic that frightens me. So recently, a 15-year-old ex-TikToker called Ava Majuri and her family opened up about a potential kidnapping that happened last July. And how, if not for the fast actions of her father pulling out a gun and saving the family, Ava might have been kidnapped. The story is a tragic one, and it also explores the topic of social media and the impact it can have on not just the average person that becomes TikTok famous or social media famous, but those that grow up with the spotlight on them and how it can affect them both internally and also externally as well. So having amassed over 1 million TikTok followers, Ava was at the peak of her career. And if you've ever had one of your videos blow up on TikTok, you know how hard it is to basically keep track of all the comments, those following you, because every time you reload the app or you swipe down and it reloads, a bunch of just new content, new notifications pops up, and it is a bit overwhelming.
This teen soared to fame lip syncing and dancing on TikTok. Her upbeat message, hey, I love you. Ava Majuri has 1.2 million followers.
So I want to quickly talk about, first of all, becoming social media famous is like the new job pinnacle for kids, including myself when I was younger. And it's like the old days of kids wanting to be like cops and firefighters and astronauts. Those were like the pinnacle careers, and now it's to be like social media famous. When I was growing up, it was to be YouTube famous, but now it is to be TikTok famous or to be a streamer. Those are the big things now. And I think that's very important to touch upon that, because Ava, when all of this started happening, she was 13, which is so young to be getting a spotlight put on you and to be going through basically everything she did at that age. It's just insane to think about. So this story is really important to touch upon, because I feel that a lot of content creators hype up the lifestyle of being a content creator, you know, the riches, becoming famous, but people don't talk about the negatives of becoming famous on social media. And a big one of that is having all eyes on you and not knowing who those eyes are. So one thing I really want to touch upon, and I know a lot of big YouTube creators have touched upon this, is when a barrier is broken between the creator and their audience. And what I mean by that is rather than there being like a barrier between us, there's some people that try to pursue past that barrier and basically break through into the creator's personal life. And some creators might be fine with that, but there is a vast majority that aren't fine with that. So when this barrier is broken between a creator and a fan, it is really difficult, especially when you're growing up. You're a kid and you don't fully understand the implications that can happen when that barrier is broken. So it's no surprise when Ava is blowing up on social media, she's getting a ton of followers, a ton of basically eyes upon her, that she doesn't notice or recognize at the beginning a familiar name commenting on all her videos until basically they've been doing it for some time and they've formed some unhealthy attachment. So after some time, Ava noticed a familiar name commenting on all her videos. And to be able to recognize a familiar name, especially when you're blowing up, it has to be very persistent and very consistent as well. The reason why is because there's so much content, so much notifications appearing all the time, that someone has to be extremely consistent with commenting and persistent for you to recognize their name. So the stalker was an 18-year-old and his name was Eric Rowan Justin, and he went under the name of Eric Justin 111, and he began bombarding her with messages. So over time, commenting then escalated to messages. Now this is the creepy part, and it's where the story gets a little bit strange. I'll just put it like this. It's unnerving. So then he began contacting her old friends from New Jersey. And what they did was an extreme invasion of privacy. What they did was they began selling him pictures of her that weren't uploaded online. Let me say that again. They were selling this stalker who displayed an extreme fixation on a 13-year-old at the time, or 13 to 14, around that age, and sold him pictures of her that weren't posted online, which I'm guessing she didn't want online as well, because once again, privacy. Another invasion of privacy was they also gave him her phone number, her own personal phone number. So then she began getting messages from him on a private cell phone. I don't know what she would have been feeling at this stage. If I put myself in her shoes, at this point, I would have been extremely unnerved because that barrier would be broken. I remember when I was younger, I used to go on Kik, and Kik is a terrible place. There's a lot of creeps on there, and I'm guessing when I was younger, I used to talk to a lot of people with my friend at the time from school. And I'm guessing that a lot of the people that were messaging us, pretending to be girls around our age, were actually pedophiles and things along those nature. So I can kind of understand when... Sorry. This is really, really good. I love iced coffee. I didn't really like it until like 2 months ago. Tried it again after some time and I loved it, but that's beside the point. I remember talking to these people on Kik who I thought were girls around my age, and then there was one point where I got a message on Instagram, and my Instagram was not private, but it was like only a few friends and family at the time. I think I had like 40 followers or something. It was like really, really small. And I got a message from someone on Kik, and it was one of those girls messaging me. And at that point, I freaked out because I'm like, how do they find out my details? And I'm guessing that they obviously just cross-referenced my name on there to my social media account. But I remember at that point freaking out knowing that they know what I look like. And at that point, I just got off Kik, and I think I blocked them at the point, and I don't think I deactivated my Instagram account or anything like that, but I just remember how unnerved I was. And I believe I was like 15 at this point. So it was really, really creepy. So I can understand how she would have been feeling when she got a private message on her cell phone from basically that guy. So to be the type of person that would sell out your old friend's personal details is just mind-boggling. I don't understand why someone would do that. I'm guessing there would have been a monetary value behind that. I could never fathom doing something along those lines. So it's just extremely, extremely mind-boggling to think how someone could actually do that. Putting someone you knew, like a close old friend of yours, in danger just doesn't seem like any monetary value I would seek to do something like that. So this is also, I'm not going to comment on this part because I don't want to really get into that. But basically, Ava's parents then allowed her to sell pictures of her smiling to Justin, which, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. You guys can form your own opinion.
Sold him selfies showing off your smile, thinking that this would take care of the problem and he would go away.
I sold him 2 or 3 pictures of me smiling.
But within a week, she says he started asking for more provocative pics.
He started asking for booty pics and feet pics.
Ava quickly became concerned. Ava says she blocked him on social media when he started relentlessly badgering her.
However, it escalated even more, and Justin began seeking explicit messages from Ava, who was obviously a minor at the point, and consent cannot be made. And besides the point, it is just extremely, extremely creepy that an 18-year-old is seeking that. Ava's dad then contacted Justin and basically said, knock it off. She's not contacting you anymore. She's a minor. Justin got very, very angry at this point and started to message all her old friends and began threatening Ava. So you can see this guy wasn't all the way there. And then the worst thing happened. And this is something that everyone fears. You see it in books, you see it in movies, TV shows, everything. And this is one of my biggest fears. Is that when the person who's stalking you or who is displaying creepy behavior online to you rocks up to your house. I don't know what I would do in that situation. It is so creepy. It is a massive invasion of privacy. So Justin turns up to her house with a gun. And it's at this point, obviously, and I know you're probably thinking this, like, I don't know what I would do. Like, this is very, very disturbing, especially because she's so young. Her family probably definitely doesn't know what's happening as well. So he turns up on July 10th on 2021, and this is at 4:30 a.m. so extremely early in the morning. No one's awake. It is basically, well, dead of the night, but early morning, you know what I mean. No one is up yet, and he fires a shot through the front door. So the family is woken up to basically a horrible scene. There's a bullet going through the front door. Family freaks out. Chaos just ensues. The dad, with his quick thinking, rushes out the front door while Justin's reloading his gun. Ava's dad fires his gun and kills him instantly. just to think about how creepy that is, how disturbing, all this happening, and she's also being homeschooled. She got taken out of school, but it doesn't end there. Like, obviously that situation ended there with Justin dying. She still has been getting harassed online, and one of her recent cases was from a completely different person, sending her thousands of dollars to her Venmo account. This is just another page to the book of creepy behavior being displayed against her, but the guy was found to have the same name as a registered sex offender. This story just really shines a light on what it's like to basically be social media famous and also grow up with the social media spotlight on you. Thank you all for tuning in and watching this video. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry it's such a morbid and terrifying topic at the same time, but I just wanted to cover it, and I hope you're all doing well besides this video topic. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and peace. See you guys.
Shh.